guys? So today's video is going to be my studying tips. A few of you guys have asked me for this video, so I am filming it for you who are in school, in high school, in college, or maybe you're not in school at all, but you just need tips on getting organized and being motivated and things like that. So that is what this video is for. If you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe because it would mean so much to me. I would love to have you guys in my little family. And you guys can also follow me on Instagram and Twitter because I'm always posting on there. I am always active. I post every Wednesday and Friday on this channel, but I'm posting every day on everything else. So you guys can always stay up to date with me there. And yeah, let's just get into the video. So I'm going to be talking about some of the tips that I have for studying and things like that, but I'm also going to be inserting clips of me actually doing those. Like, these aren't things that I'm just like throwing out at you guys that I just like made up from nowhere. Like, I actually do these things. I have a pen in my hand because I'm reading my notes on what I said that I wanted to talk about in this video. How cute is this little notebook? It has corgis on it. If you guys didn't know, I'm obsessed with corgis. They're my dream dog. I can't wait to own at least 17 when I get a house. They're beautiful. They're so cute. So, okay, anyway, the first tip that I have for you guys is to get a planner. I know I say this all the time. I say this literally every single time I mention my planner. I'm always like, you guys need a planner. Like, you have to have one. I personally, in high school, never used a planner. I was not organized in that way. I wish that I would have been, because things would have been a lot easier for me. But I always recommend now getting a planner, because when I graduated, my mom got me a planner and I was like, okay, whatever, I'll use it for college. It's the best thing that ever happened to me. So this is my planner. This one is from Erin Condren. I will link it down below for you guys if you guys want. They have really awesome planners. You guys can also customize your planner. This isn't sponsored. To have pictures and things like that, and then throughout it you can have, like, if it's like your birthday on one of the months, you can put like pictures of whatever in that month. Okay, but anyway, you can also pick the layout of how you want it. So I have each day like this, and then I have it into different categories. So like, I'll put what I have in the morning at the top, what I have in the midday right there, and what I have at night or other tasks I need to do. And then it has a little section over here. So as you guys can see, I write down my classes, and once I have finished each of my classes, I will always highlight them. And then I also have video ideas that if I'm filming a video that week, or I need to film a video that week, I will put that I need to film it, and then I will highlight it once it's completed. I have a lot of other things on here that I like to do. So there's multiple things that I need to write down in here just so that I get my mind in order. So not only would I say get a planner so that you have each one of your tasks, but right when you get into a class, whether it's high school, whether it's college, always look at the syllabus, and it will normally always have when your exams are, when your final exam is, which days that you don't have school, so that in the future when you're scheduling out all of your classes, you know, okay, well wait, I actually put 2 weeks ahead that I have an exam on this date, so I need to make sure that right now I'm studying for that. You know, it's just like one of those things. So it's always good to plan ahead in that way, just so that you know when things are coming up and you're not forgetting, because I'm very forgetful in that way. I'll always put project deadlines in here, like way in advance, so that I never forget that I have them. And so just little things like that. Another thing that I would recommend for studying tips and kind of getting organized is that within each exam and with each thing coming up, I'll always put in this sidebar. I don't have anything in there right now because all my tests were last week, but on this sidebar right here, I will always put study for this exam, or I will have a to-do list of little things that I need to do for each class that I could be working on it. So I'll always put those on the side so that you can also have a little to-do list right there that you can always mark off and highlight. So highlighting them is like a key to just like staying organized and making sure that you're completing everything, because I get really sad when I write things down on here, and if I don't highlight it and get it done, I'm like, oh my god, I feel so unorganized and not motivated. So I just need to highlight it to make sure that I completed it, it's done, and we finished it, and it makes me feel, you know, better about myself. So that was just kind of tips on how to get organized, how to initially start your studying, start your organization without knowing what you need to actually get completed. There's no way that you're going to be able to study and stay focused and organized in any of your classes, like, without knowing exactly what you need to do. there's no way. So I just always suggest getting a planner first and writing down all the homework that you have due and when it's due and everything like that throughout the week, so that when you look at it on Monday or on Sunday, you're like, okay, this is due that day, this is due that day, this is due that day, so you know what to focus on each day. Okay, anyway, moving on from that. So the next thing that I would suggest for studying, if you guys haven't tried this, I always recommend leaving your home. So I never study in my bedroom. I have a desk in here. I never study at my desk. I never study in my living room, and I never study in my kitchen. If I want to study and if I want to write a paper, if I have to do a project, if I just need to focus and read notes or make flashcards or stuff for an exam, I will always leave my house. And the reason for that is because if I am home and I am in such close proximity to my bed, if I am in such close proximity to food, I literally will just like stop studying and I will get up and just like go grab food and sit there, and then I'll be on my phone because I'm in a place that feels comfortable. If you're in a place that you're always surrounding yourself in, you're just gonna feel so comfortable there and you're not gonna feel motivated because it's not a motivating environment. So what I like to do is go to a coffee shop. So I always go to a coffee shop, and the first thing that I do is I grab a coffee and I grab either a snack if I'm hungry, but normally I just grab a coffee and then I will sit at a desk. And normally there's a bunch of other people around me at this coffee shop that all have their laptops out. So that gives you an environment to feel motivated and to feel like you're doing what you need to do. I don't personally like studying at my school library. I know colleges, a lot of kids always go to the library, but for me, when I used to go to the library and study, it was more of like a social gathering because it would be with like a bunch of like girls in my sorority, or it would just be with a bunch of friends, and so we would rarely get work done. So I like to go by myself to a coffee shop, or I'll go with one other person to a coffee shop, sit there, put my headphones in, and do my work. And it's just really helpful because you're not in a space that you can feel like you can go back to bed, or you can lay and watch TV or sit on your couch. So I would highly suggest, even if you're uncomfortable with doing it at first, go somewhere that you haven't been, try a new cafe in town, go to a different coffee shop than you normally do, and just do that has couches and desks and areas and stuff like that. The second tip that I would say is that if you guys do like to study with music, some people don't. Some people like to study just like in silence or something. I personally cannot study in silence. Like if I'm sitting there and it's silence, I feel so awkward, especially in a public setting. So I always like to put my headphones in because people around me are normally talking at a coffee shop or they're doing whatever, and so I like to just like be in my own zone. So what I suggest is going to a playlist either on Apple Music. I use Spotify. I go on Spotify and I type in focus, and there's normally a playlist that I always go to. It's called Deep Focus, and it's just like slow, instrumental, motivating music. It's not necessarily music that I like to listen to, like I'm not playing these in my car, but in the background of what I'm doing, because normally if I'm reading or I'm studying, I'm way more focused on what I'm doing and I'm not really paying attention to the music in the background, so it's good to just have an instrumental. If I'm playing Ariana Grande or if I'm playing pop music or new music or anything like that, there's no way I focus because I just start thinking of other things, or I'm thinking of the lyrics or anything like that. So I highly suggest listening to a playlist that is focusing music. I normally will listen to either a classical playlist, I will listen to a piano playlist, or the Deep Focus playlist, which is just instrumentals of different things. So that's what I would suggest. If you guys are into that, I definitely would recommend. Even if you're not, just try it. These are things to try and help you guys study more. This is what I like to do. It helps me focus really well. Another tip that I would suggest when studying for an exam, so say you guys have a big exam coming up and things like that, a lot of times people can use Quizlet, which I know Quizlet has like flashcards and study guides and all of that stuff, and you guys can just read them online and look over it. But I personally don't learn from just reading things online. I have more of like a photographic memory. Like I memorize what I write down if it's in like my handwriting. So like if I'm taking an exam, I will remember like what page I wrote the notes on and what I wrote it on and how I wrote it, and I don't know why, but that's just how my brain works. So if you guys are studying for an exam and maybe reading flashcards or reading online isn't helping, because if I try and read a textbook, it's like I will go to sleep in 5 seconds. So what I have to do is take notes and write it out on a notebook. So I will just literally copy word for word a definition, or I will copy word for word an explanation, or I will write in my own words something that's in a textbook or in a study guide or something like that, because it will help me realize it more, if that makes sense. Like, it will help me remember it, so that when I go to the exam, I'm not trying to remember something that like I read word for word in a textbook or online. I'm trying to remember what I've taught myself and what I've written down in my own words. So it's easier, because I feel like when I try and memorize what other people are saying or what's in a textbook, there's just no way, like I'm never going to. So if I remember what I wrote down and how I wrote it, then I will. Another tip I would say for that, if you guys are writing things down, you guys are taking notes in class and things like that, always do it and like make it in a fun way. I use these little pens. I've been holding this the whole time. I don't really know why. These are the Papermate pens. They have these in like every single color ever. They have like a whole stack of them at Target, and I like to write down different definitions, and for each different class I use a different color, or a different week I use a different color, because it helps your brain memorize things easier. So if I'm doing one whole exam study guide in blue, then I will remember it when I'm taking the exam. Like, it'll help me remember what I wrote on that page, and then for another class I'll do it in pink or something like that, and I'll be like, okay, that was for that class, that was for this. I don't know, it just helps me memorize things easier. If I do it all in a pen, then I just like don't remember very well. So that would be another study tip I have for you guys. Another tip I have for you guys for school and just getting organized and things like that is, each week when you kind of write out, even if you guys don't have a planner, literally just like in a normal notebook, write down, okay, Monday, and then write all of the things that you need to do. Make your own to-do list. And mine won't even just be school related. Like, I'll literally put like, pay for this. When I go, like, I have a parking ticket, I need to pay for my parking ticket, I will write it down. If I need to get home and I need to email so-and-so, like, I'll put each thing on there, even though it's not necessarily school related. It's just better. And so another thing that I would like you guys to try out and do, even though it might be a little bit overwhelming, is each week I will write something that's due next week. So like, say I have a discussion board post for one of my classes. I will write discussion board due Tuesday, even though it's already Tuesday and I need it due next Tuesday. I will write it down so it helps me get ahead, so that I know what's coming up. So even if I finish all of my assignments for that week or for that day, I'll be like, okay, well, I have this, I could start on this now. So it will help you guys get ahead. So instead of only writing the things that you need to do that week, write 1 or 2 things that are due next week or that you need to work on for next week, and write them in the week that you're on currently, so that once you finish all of the things, say you finish them ahead of time or whatever, you can start working on something else. It helps you get ahead. Honestly, getting ahead is like my #1 priority, because in school things just come up on you so quickly, and then you're cramming everything into one day, or everything's due that day, or you just feel really, really overwhelmed. So getting ahead in that way is really, really helpful. I would highly suggest not just like taking a break after you finish 1 or 2 assignments, like just get it done when you can, so that you can feel more relaxed later on. That's what I would suggest. So I think those are my tips for you guys. I would say get a planner, go outside, write it down in your notebook instead of just reading it. Have motivating music, not Ariana Grande, in the background while you're studying. Just instrumentals, slow music, and then I would say to plan ahead. So those are the things that I would suggest for you guys. If you guys haven't tried them, maybe you guys can. I don't know if it's helpful for you, but it's definitely helpful for me. So I would definitely recommend those things. If you guys do have any other study tips, I'm always looking for new study tips and things that everyone else is kind of doing to help me try new ways of memorizing things or getting my life together for school. So you guys can comment those in the comments down below, and maybe it will help other people, so you guys can read the comments and see not only my tips but other people's tips and how they study. But I think that's definitely it for this week's video. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys did, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. It would mean so much to me. And you guys can also always follow me on Instagram and Twitter, because I'm always posting on there and wanting to get to know you guys really well. So I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up if you guys did. And yeah, I think that's it. So I will see you guys next week.